One More Day is probably the most personal, emotional, and vulnerable track on the album. It imagines a one-way conversation with my father after he'd lost the ability to respond. It's also the very first thing that I wrote for this album, and I'd love to show you a few aspects of the creative process. When the song starts, I use this pedal E, and kind of like All-Time Favorite Song, I use a C natural, which is in the minor key, giving you that impression, but then I solidly put it into E major. And that's what you hear when the voice starts. I don't know where I am. Now you might have heard that echoing voice that was kind of up high. In general, for the song, I recorded myself singing 3 times and stacked it and panned it to give that effect. But then every once in a while, you'll see on this automation track here, I send a word or a phrase to an auxiliary track and get a different effect. When I was writing the score for a show called Prodigal Son, there was a particular episode that had a religious theme. So I created some samples with my voice where I sang normal, and then I used Little Altar Boy to make myself sound like choir boys. And later in the same track, I also recorded my voice stacked and altered it to sound like chanting monks. And so if we were to use it like an All-Time Favorite Song when I took the trumpet up the octave, and that's all it's doing, this is what it would sound like. I should be. Which is pretty cool, but then when I crank this knob for the formant, I get this other quality to it. I should be. Which I kind of like. It's a little weird, but there's something comforting about that sound to me as well. You might find it creepy. I don't know. Go ahead and leave me something in the comments about that. When we finally get to the chorus later, we modulate up a half step to F major, and it becomes a little bit brighter in tone, I think. Just have one more day for you to tell me it's okay. And eventually we go back to the original key of E there. Now the lyrics, if we could just have one more day for you to tell me it's okay. This is reminiscent of a memory I have when my wife and I were buying our first house. It was a house that nobody wanted. It was foreclosed on, but it was still Los Angeles, so the price was quite high. And at the last second, I had a panic attack. And I called my dad and I said, this is the worst decision we've ever made. We're going to be ruined financially. Everything is terrible, and that whole thing. And in his way, he was able to just calmly say, no, you've thought this through. Everything is going to be just fine. He didn't even have to rationally explain the situation to me. He just had that way of letting me know that everything was going to be okay. And I don't know if you have anybody in your life like that, but it's a pretty powerful thing. I think the darkness of this song is how that was taken away from me. And the light at the end of the tunnel is how I will always carry it with me. You can listen to the rest of this song and the rest of the album on all major streaming platforms. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. There will be more videos on the rest of the album, and I'll take you through some more of the creative process and technical details. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you next time.